Hello, folks. Welcome to the Fade Us Sports Podcast. Let's go right to David Woodley for his rant. Woodley, go.
As you know, I took on the Kelce universe every week on this show, and lo and behold, I mean, it's like God telling us something. Today it was announced that they got engaged, and it's terrible. This is going to continue. Again, this may have been interesting a year ago when they were both still relevant. Let's just put it this way. Travis Kelce's done. That guy's dead. He's dead to me after he let Philadelphia, the worst city in the fucking planet, the worst fans on the planet, run roughshod all over him and his Chiefs. And Taylor Swift, who cares? Taylor Swift was last summer. This is the summer of Sydney Sweeney. Speaking of last summer, at least we finally got Jason Kelce off our screens as well after he's tanked all those brands. So, but hey, now they're engaged. We got to hear about the royal wedding for the next 12 months. Looking forward to, Taylor Swift bringing her private jet down the aisle. Looking forward to Jason Kelce, not getting all the attention he needs for 15 seconds and tearing off his shirt as soon as the reception starts. Just over it. I mean, Travis needs to retire. Taylor needs to leave, and Jason just needs to get off our screens. At least the brands have learned not to use him anymore, so we're like a third of the way there. So
okay. Listen, I love the Kelces and I love Taylor Swift, but I know, Woodley, 25% of the people out there agree with you. And now, Mikey, I'm coming to you for your rant. Go.
My rant is, well, your fucking ass driving me crazy all day today. And you just trolled me on purpose. You purposely said, Mike, we're doing one podcast today in the NFC. Only be ready for that. And then you're like, oh, fuck you. I told you, read your text. And so you drove me up the wall, and I was having a bad enough day. And now you set me into orbit. And now I've had to take medication to come down from my orbit.
Mike, are you having a bad medication day, would you say?
I'm just having a bad brain day. And so I had to take a Klonopin to overcome my craziness.
Cantu, I know that's a tough rant to follow. And by the way, before you start, right. Cantu, you won not one, but 2 tournaments in the last 3 weeks and a third place. Where were those tournaments?
Hard Rock in Florida, the Hard Rock,
nice.
South Florida there, and the
Lilac Casino.
One of Phil loves the Lilac Casino in New Hampshire.
I'm an owner. Promote. Sell. Cantu, what do you got for us on the rant side?
Well, here we are back together. We're all ready to start talking football. It's late August, early September. Here we are. Nope. I am here to ruin everybody's day with baseball talk because
no, you're cut off already. Cut him off, Danny.
Baseball talk. Here we are, and what I need to get off my chest. This is the first time in my lifetime. I'm 44 years old. This is my favorite team. Is now we're getting new viewers. That we're getting the Mariners, and they are red hot. Just to give you guys a background, they have only made the playoffs 5 times in the history of the franchise. They've never made it to the World Series. This is an awful franchise. This is the first time in my life that we have been a winner at the trade deadline. We get Suarez. We get Naylor. This is Mariners. Here we go. We go 9-1 right here. Winner 9 of our first 10. And I mean, I was on cloud 9. I'm texting our group chat. I'm so excited. I'm thinking this is our year. We're favorites to win the AL. And then out of nowhere, they're just awful. They go 2-7 on the Eastern trip. I've had to stop watching the games, which I've watched just about every game. I had to completely give it up. But now finally, we've won 3 of 4, and this is the first time they have tricked me. They have tricked me now that we're playing back home against the Padres. We're playing in the Vetter Cup. I have put some money on the Mariners, so hopefully they come through today, and my fandom is back.
Cantu, that was a horrible rant. This is an NFL podcast.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
What are you doing?
18 weeks of NFL, then certain amount of weeks of Major League Baseball, then a certain amount.
Mikey, Cantu's just Seattle everything anyway, right? He probably, his over is probably on the Seahawks. All right, my rant is you, Mikey, dealing with Mikey. All right, here we go. We just sent an email for you to sign the contract with VSiN for the Fade Us podcast. Mikey asked, who sent it?
Yeah.
We hit laugh emojis. Can't make this up. Meanwhile,
Who
Woodley
sent
and
it?
Cantu and I snap signed. Da-da-da-da-da. They sent it. It's in DocuSign. Boom, boom, boom. Then Mikey asked again. But we thought he
sent
was
it?
kidding. No, not Mike. Mike said, and I quote, I'll ask one last time and then you can find someone else for the podcast show.
Yeah.
Woodley, now incredulous, said, how many emails did you receive in the last hour? Mike said 100. Mostly spam from political parties.
Correct.
Lots
Right.
of Trump emails,
Right.
lots of...
So I asked, who sent the emails? And then I got Phil's agent. Okay, is it Phil's agent, Brian Balsbaugh, or is it Poker Royalty? I got no answer. I went to both. None of them came up. And then they finally said, look for something that says DocuSign. So I typed in DocuSign,
I
and
wonder
it came
how
up.
many human beings would understand how ridiculous Mike sounds right now. You got an email for a big contract. You haven't signed a contract in 5 years of significance. It's
Really?
in your email in the last hour, and you keep saying,
Can't
where's
find it.
who's it coming from? What? I don't
Right.
understand.
Well, you want me to go through 50 fucking emails, or are you going to tell
Yes.
me who's coming
Mike
from?
the Mouth Matisow is a 4-time World Series of Poker winner. He knows sports, studies
And it's
sports,
fucking
and watches
Matisow. It's
more
Matisow. Get it
games
right.
than all of us combined.
Matisow. Get it right.
Mike Matisow.
What did that happen?
Brandon
did it.
Cantu's a
He did it.
2-time winner and an avid sports bettor. Cantu sometimes bets his entire net worth on one game. Cantu always some well-thought-out takes, but Cantu just won big tournaments, so he's not betting his net worth anymore. David Woodley started Speed Survivor. Check out speedsurvivor.com. Our guy Woodley has great knowledge and sharp takes. All right, here we go, folks. I'm just going to say this. When it comes to NFL season total bets, I've won 11 years in a row. I might be average at everything else, but 11 years in a row. So this is where we kind of are hanging our, we want to start out hot. You know what I mean? So Woodley, we're going with the NFC. What is your number one NFL total bet?
Well, you know where I'm going. And I was on this. I mean,
not the Vikings.
No, I was
and
so
Phil,
leaning towards
I was
under on
this
them.
way long ago, and Phil got in it really early, as did I. But I'll go with the number today, and I am actually going to go with even higher number. So I'm going to go. The line is like consensus, like 8.5. But you're paying a good amount of juice. I'm actually going to take 9.5, over 9.5 for plus 105. Listen, they won. You know what? They won 14 games last year with Sam Darnold as a quarterback. They're returning the entire defense. They're returning all their key weapons. Jefferson, Addison, drafted a guy. They're like a minute away from getting Adam Thielen over there. Hawkinson's going to be healthy. And they fixed their biggest glaring issue from last year, which was the offensive line. Like, they got absolutely dominated by Detroit and the Rams in the week 17 and then the playoffs. What did they go do? They went out and they signed 3 really, really, really good interior offensive linemen, a new center and then 2 new guards. They fixed that. There's some questions around J.J. McCarthy. Mike, for some reason, still thinks McCarthy's a rookie and eligible for Rookie of the Year, but we'll get into that later. He didn't play last year. He was injured.
He's a fucking rookie.
He was injured last year. There's some mixed reports coming out, but the thing is, it doesn't even matter because Kevin O'Connell is the best quarterback coach in the league right now. Look at what he did with Kirk Cousins. He gave Kirk his best 2 years. What has Kirk done since he left Minnesota? Got fucking benched for Michael Penix, or Michael Penis, as the kids call him. And then he took Sam Darnold, who's like been a complete bust, nobody his entire career. And Sam Darnold was like legitimately a top 5 MVP candidate last year. Now he gets J.J. McCarthy, who can mold from the ground up. They got the weapons, they got the defense, they got the line, they got the defensive line. And the biggest thing is like their quarterback, and they're going to protect McCarthy. And I know Phil likes J.J.
All right, I'm a believer, Woodley. I'm going to say yes. I like the over. Now, I bet $5,000 at over 8.5 wins for the Vikings. And then Mike pointed out to me that they have a rookie quarterback. but I liked it. I'm very happy.
They had the fourth toughest schedule in the country.
By the way, it's not a rookie quarterback because he had a year to sit back and watch. Quarterbacks used to do a lot better in the old days when they used to sit back for a year, watch. JJ McCarthy's had the playbook, watched everything. So this should be it's his time to shine.
So Cantu, you like the pick too?
I absolutely love this pick. We've been talking about this one since I feel like before the schedule, the week by week schedule was released.
Correct.
We've been giving it an 8.5, numerous times on this podcast. Now it's 9.5. I love over 9.5. I think they win 10, 11, 12 games. I really do.
It's still 8.5. Like 9.5, you're getting, you're getting really good odds there, right?
At 9.5, you get plus $1.30.
Well, I love it.
Wait. You're saying it's back at 8.5, Woodley?
It's 8.5. Minus 155.
I didn't know that. I've been looking it up. I thought I love this pick over 8.5.
Yeah,
oh my God!
You got to lay $1.55. You have to lay 155 over 8.5, and if you go over 9.5, then you get plus 130.
I love the Vikings coach. I love the energy they bring. I love even Woodley showing me their victory speeches. I know that's we're not supposed to be getting all emotional, but he gives a good victory speech after every game. I just love everything about McCarthy. I love everything about this pick. I love that pick even more than my own picks. Cool.
By the way, the defense was so good last year.
Oh, it was
really
great against the good teams. It was great against the good teams. And it was great against dog shit teams.
They won 14 games, dude.
Do you like this pick or not?
No. I love the under 8.5. I love the under 8. I think they'll win 7 games. They might win 8. But I think a year from now, they're going to be very good. But with the division that they're in, the tough schedule they play. They were 9-1 against one-score games last year, and the games they lost, they got destroyed by all good teams. All the ones they beat were shitty teams. I said it all year. I jumped on them like a fucking idiot at the end of the year and got blitzed. And they're missing their second best receivers out for the first 4 or 5 weeks.
3 games.
Their schedule's tough. So I like the under.
Wow. Okay, Mike, you text me afterwards because you and I are going to have some bet on this. I love this. So 3 people love this pick.
I almost made it one of my top picks, by the way.
Okay. All right. It's time to go to Mike the Mouth Mattisau's number 1 NFC NFL total. What do you like, Mikey?
My number 1 pick, and I'm very strong on this, is the Eagles under 11.5. Plus 120, I think it is. They're missing. They lost 5 of their top 6 defensive players from last year. They're every year for the last 10 years, one team that made the Super Bowl had a Super Bowl hangover and didn't make the playoffs. And I'm not going to go on the world and say it's going to be Kansas City, because Kansas City finds a way to be in the championship game every single year. So I just think that losing all those defensive players and the division's so much tougher. The Giants are much improved. Washington's even improved, and Dallas is even improved. And they just have the 4th toughest schedule. So I'm going under on the Eagles. I think that they might win 11 and make the playoffs. Winning 12 in that division and that schedule, I don't see it.
Mike, what's the juice on 11.5 and under?
I was just looking at that. It's I had it right in front of me. 150. Here it is. 130. I apologize. I want to get this right.
So you're laying like $1.30 on this.
So Eagles under, I'm laying $1.25 under 11.5. Correct.
Okay. I do not like that pick. I don't like it. And I might end up making the Eagles over 11, but laying a little bit more juice as my pick. I wouldn't be surprised if it fell on 11 and we both won. That could happen, Mike. I think just watching Jalen Hurts.
I'd win and you'd push.
The progression of Jalen Hurts has been so fun to watch. And every year they doubt him. They doubted him at Alabama. They doubted him at Oklahoma. They doubted him at Philadelphia. And he just keeps coming through. It's really impressive to watch him deal with all this stuff. I love the coach. I love the energy. And when I look at these NFL totals, a lot of times I look at the coach and the energy. So, Mike, I do not like your pick here, but I don't hate it. So I'm going to vote against. Woodley, what do you have to say on this?
I don't like it. I mean, I hate Philly. I would love to just root for them to lose 12 games. That is a really, really good team they got going there.
Philly, I was Woodley.
know
I
they're
was in
good.
Philly 2 days ago. I like that city a lot. Went to the Liberty Bell. Why do you hate Philadelphia so
It's
much?
the people.
the
It's the
worst.
people. I mean, listen. I'm down here.
They're
I'm
the
here at the
worst.
Jersey Shore, like very
He's
nice
right.
area of the Jersey Shore, right? And this happened a couple hours ago with Philly. We're not even that close to Philly, but like there's this nice, really nice taco truck, like artisanal quesadillas, burritos, everything. Like again, like Mexican, right? Like it is very clearly a Mexican food truck. Great food. Everyone's ordering or whatever. This guy comes up. He tries to order a Philly cheese. I'm not making this up. I swear to God. He's like, I want a Philly cheesesteak. They're like, we don't have that. He's like, can you make me something like a Philly cheesesteak? And the poor woman is like, we can put like steak in a burrito with like cheese. And I promise you, I'm not lying about this. He's like, what kind of cheese? She's like, cheddar. And he's like, do you have cheese whiz? I'm like, and they're just like, these are the people. I mean, these are they're just, these are Philly fans. I don't mind Philly that much actually as a city. I'm going there in a few weeks. My alma mater, Oklahoma, is playing Temple actually at the stadium. I have some buddies coming to town for it. Anyways, I wish. I mean, I'm really rooting against Philly to do well this year, but I think they're going to hit 12. That's a really good team. They're coming off the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl hangover really doesn't exist for teams that actually win the Super Bowl. It's usually the teams that lose the Super Bowl. The teams that win it are coming off a high. Like they're usually pretty, in pretty good spirits, all that good stuff. I think the division's garbage. I mean, the Giants are dog shit. The Cowboys are a complete mess. And, even though Washington had a really good year last year, they're due for some regression as well, in my opinion. And I don't think that schedule is like insanely that, I don't think it's that tough, to be honest. I think they win 12. I think they get over it. It's not the worst thing I've ever heard because 11.5 is a lot of, it's a lot of wins, but you're also laying
Cantu,
juice.
please tell me you like the under. I mean the over.
No, I do. I love the over. I'm not that concerned about the defense of the
Mike's
Eagles.
having a bad med day. So far, every
I
pick
know.
we've disagreed with him.
Mike hates this when I say it. I'm just not that concerned with the defense. I think they'll figure it out and be a decent defense. That offense, I think, is the best offense in the NFL. So I'm just going to leave that at that. You don't have to have a great defense. Mike is always defense. In
Really?
today's NFL,
I told you all
do
last
not
year,
need it.
defense wins championships. That the Eagles had the best defense and they won.
They do have, to Mike's credit, though, they do have it. I mean, on paper, it looks like a tough schedule, right? They're playing at the Bills. Obviously they play all their division teams, so you can skip that. They play at home against the Lions. They play at Minnesota, which could be tough, and they play at the Chiefs, right? So I just think they're better than all those teams, to be honest. I think that at Bills is the one I'm worried about the most, but
I mean, they lost their defensive MVP from last year's Super Bowl. I mean, they lost 4 of their top 5 defensive players. Now,
That tush push is the X factor.
And the offense should be good.
It gets overlooked. Jalen Hurts, I drafted one.
you don't think
fantasy football teams.
you don't think Barkley could regress
No, he
from
could.
like an all-world, like one of the best seasons
that's
of all
the
time?
worry. That's
That
the
is-
worry.
that
I mean,
is a
that's
worry.
that's
That
the
is a
thing that
worry.
does give me a bit of it gives me a bit of pause.
And I'm the highest on Barkley of anybody. I said it for years. He's a generational talent.
Okay, guys, let me take over here for a second. All right, so listen, we're gonna go to a commercial break right now, and it looks like Mike likes Philly under 11.5, and the three of us don't. What a surprise! See you in a couple minutes after the break. Folks, the Fade Us Sports Podcast is brought to you by our sponsor, Splash Sports, where you can join all of us in the Big Splash 2.5 million guaranteed NFL Survivor Contest, $150 center. Of course, you can enter 150 times. Download their app, currently sitting at number 7 in the sports I just saw today. Sports App Store and climbing. You'll find all sorts of contests starting at $5. I'm hosting a contest with Nick Wright. $5,000 entry, $1 million guarantee. We're calling it the World Championship of Survivor Contest. There's also a $1,000 entry contest with a $1 million guarantee. Thanks again to Splash for sponsoring the Fade Us Sports Podcast. Welcome back to the Fade Us Sports Podcast, where so far Mike, having a bad med day, has disagreed with everything that we've had to say. I'm coming hot with my pick. My number one pick is Detroit over 10 wins, minus $1.20. So I bet $20,000 on this. As I said, I've won 11 years in a row. And so I bet $20,000 on Detroit. Let me just tell you something. To me, it's all about the coach, right? That coach, Dan Campbell, is unbelievable. I love his energy. I love his spirit. I love his fire. There's no way he's going to let this team down. Do they have the second toughest schedule? Yes. Will they split with the Packers? Yes. Will they split with the Vikings? Yes. But 10 seems like a very attainable number. They had the best offense, arguably, I think, statistically, in the league last year. And their defense was banged up and still held together. They won a ton of games last year. Phil Hellmuth, number one pick. Detroit over 10, minus $1.20. Let's go to David Woodley. Do you agree or don't agree?
I actually don't agree. I think that window is I don't think it's all the way shut, but I think they've missed their chances the past few years. I mean that choke job against San Francisco is they'll never forget that one. I still think they're okay. I think they're perfectly solid. I think they're scared.
Bro, was Detroit up 21-0 in that game, Woodley?
It was a lot. I mean, it was
24-0. It was 24.
It was bad.
Wow.
All they had to do is kick the field goal, and that changed the entire.
I love that field.
Changed everything.
I was shouting, "Kick the field goal."
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was bad.
Well,
and it's these are long. They're long seasons. These players get older. All that. I mean, listen, Gibbs is obviously a stud. St. Brown is a stud. I'm not sure Goff, is that. And Campbell's. I mean, he fires these guys up, but at some point you gotta win. I mean, you gotta kind of make it to the Super Bowl. But man, this schedule is just brutal. I mean, it's
number third toughest.
Yeah, I mean, it's forget the division stuff, right? I mean, but I think they'll split with the Packers. They'll split with the Vikings. They could lose both, and then they could also lose both. But beyond that, they play at the Ravens early in the season. The Ravens are going to be favored there, and I think the Ravens win that. They play at the Bengals. No matter what you think about the Bengals, I mean, it's probably a pick 'em at best for Lions. They play at the Chiefs. You gotta like the Chiefs in that. They play at the Eagles. You gotta love the Eagles in that. And then it's they also play at the Rams. And I'm not saying that. That's a tough matchup. I mean, that's a tough matchup. I mean, that's a lot. I think they're going to be underdogs in all those games. And then we even mentioned at the Packers, at the Vikings, and then there's other games on the schedule too
the
that
Bears
they could.
too.
Yeah, I don't know about the Bears are not worried about them, but.
Okay, Woodley, I'm defending my pick.
At the Commanders, too.
This.
That's a tough game. Yeah.
That's a tough game. Would it shock you if they won 12 games?
Yes.
No, I think. I mean,
that's a question.
Sorry,
for
it
Woodley.
would shock me if they won 12. It would absolutely shock me.
Okay, would it shock you if they won 8 games?
No, not at all.
Yes.
No. I'd be shocked.
I'd
be shocked either way. Okay, let's move on to Cantu. What do you think of this Detroit pick? Detroit over 10, minus $1.20.
Yeah, the schedule's tough, but I think they're still better than the teams they're playing. Now, the games when they go on the road, those are tough. I think the Lions are going to easily go back over. This is a high-powered offense. I think they're going to be hungry from last year.
Agree.
I just think, the letdown at the end of the year, just how it all ended seems very empty. That there's going to be a lot of stewing from last year.
How can they be more
really
hungry last year than the year before? I mean, last year was the year they should have been hungry. How many years are they going to be hungry?
They were hungry.
Yeah, but they had their whole defense.
Lions.
They were playing their third string defense for the last 6 weeks. So, with all fairness,
I think this is another team that just can put up big points. I don't think they need that much defense. I think they show up. I think they win 11 kind of easy.
You guys are missing the biggest point of this. Why this is? I'm not saying I dislike it, but more I lean against it. Is they lost their all-world offensive coordinator, the guy that came up with every one of those insane fucking plays that they did, and they lost their defensive coordinator. And if you look at teams over the years that lose their offensive and defensive coordinator, they struggle. Why did Baker Mayfield struggle so much in his first 6 years? Well, he had 6 different offensive coordinators in 6 different years. And then he's had back-to-back the same offensive coordinator, and Baker Mayfield's starting to thrive. So, losing the offensive coordinator to the Bears is really huge, and same with the defensive coordinator. So, I think the number is going to be right around 10. So, I'm going to say
Mike, you've watched you win 11 years in a row betting NFL totals. Are you going
I'm not
over or
against
under?
it. I'll go with you, Phil. I think they got a good chance to win.
Okay,
After all that, he's going over?
I think their offense is really good.
They could score 48 points about 10 times. I mean,
But I look at the schedule and I see 5 losses, 4 losses, a minimum of 4 losses just when I look. And so now you're asking yourself, they have to go.
I'm going to say this. It seems like they're unlucky that a lot of their really tough opponents are on the road versus at home. And so there's going to be some hurdles to climb, but I think 10's a good number. And that's what stood out. When I look at the board every year, something stands out. I'm like, oh my God, Detroit's going to win 12 or 13. Okay, Woodley, you're against us. Okay, we're all on the other side here. Brandon Cantu, give us your number one NFC NFL total pick.
I'm going to have to hear about how I'm a homer. Yes, I do talk about the homer teams a lot more, but I do go against them.
Baseball, Seattle.
Yeah, well, now it's time to talk football, Seattle. They're going to be good this year. I know everybody thinks like, oh, the Seahawks, this is a rebuilding year. We have Sam Darnold. I've had a lot of time to think about this. I wasn't high on Sam Darnold. I took him over 8.5 last year. They went 10. They had a disappointing. They didn't make the playoffs, but they won 10 games. They were only one of 6 teams to not make the playoffs. They should have made it. This year, I think they're going to be ready. They added Cooper Kupp.
He's washed.
I don't think he is washed. He is a little older. He's 32 now, coming on 33.
He's going to be great, Cooper Kupp. I disagree, Mike.
Yeah, I think he's going to be really good in this edition. I believe in Mike McDonald. I believe in his defense-first approach. It's a very good defense. I also don't mind, as much as I like DK Metcalf, I'm okay with him moving on to Pittsburgh. He was leading the league in the offensive penalties. He was really a hothead that kind of the last couple of years, at really starting some crazy fights, getting some crazy penalties that were costing us games in the end. I kind of like moving on with them, adding Cooper Kupp and Jackson Smith and Jigba. There's a chance he's a top 3-4 receiver, and he's already knocking on that door. I just really like him.
Now, Cantu, give us the number again. It's 8.5, or it's 8.
It's 7.5.
8.5.
Plus $1.20. I see it.
It's 8.5 plus 120. You can go 7.5 for minus 140. You could play the juice, go 7.
Man, I would pay. Why not just go to 8 and
listen to how soft this schedule is, and
they had the 13th easiest schedule.
We love to split against the 49ers most years. So most years, we're just going to call the 49ers a split. We start at home against the 49ers. I think we win that game. We go to at Pittsburgh. We could say fine. We'll just go lose.
That is 8 now.
Home against the Saints. That should be an easy win. At the Cardinals, we just always smoke the Cardinals twice. I don't know what it is. We can't beat the Rams. There's 2 things the Seahawks do. We beat the Cardinals twice, and we lose to the Rams twice. It just happens every year. I don't know. It's just weird. It's something psychological. Home against Tampa, we're going to win this. At Jacksonville, we're going to win that. At home on Monday night against Houston, I think we start out 5-2, 6-1. It's a very soft schedule. And then there's other games like at Tennessee, home against Indy, at Carolina. Just so many cupcakes on this schedule. And we're going to steal a couple of these tough games. I love the over. You can find 7.5. There's 8 or there's 8.
9.5.
Like I'm obviously a Seattle fan too. And yeah. And my folks live there, and my dad's been very he's a good barometer. He hears about the Seahawks all day. He ditched the Vikings. He's a full-fledged Seahawks fan now.
Wow.
Well, a long time ago. Yeah, he got tired of them. Once they moved back there and retired, he was done with the Vikings. But he's so down on them this year. He's just very down on them. I tend to agree. I love the coach. I love Smith Najigma. There's really not much else to like. I mean, Cup is like caught big injuries. Like, listen, I know DK. I know people are, there's a big decision there if you're going to pay him or not.
How about Cup's speed is dropped like from like a 4.3 5 years ago to like a 4.8.
Oh, Cup.
So I mean,
how do you
Cup's
know?
speed.
Cup, Mike. It seems like a made-up
Cup's had
stat.
some.
I heard he slowed up. Go look it up. They said he's dropped like 5
Cup's had
tenths.
some bad.
Mike? That's my point. You can't.
It's called
He's
Google.
had some
Try
bad
it.
injuries.
Mike claims he's running a 4.8.
No, Cup.
He would be out of the
here's the
NFL
thing.
for
Well,
it.
I just know that he's dropped way off in speed.
Cup,
That's all I know.
Cup is
I'll
okay,
Google
but
it
he's no
for you.
DK Metcalf. I mean, you can bash DK for the temper tantrums and everything else. The thing about DK is he was unguardable. Like, you had to.
He was very good.
He didn't put up the biggest numbers all time last year, but he was a guy that drew all the top coverage. I mean, he's up there. I don't know. He's not up there with like Jefferson and stuff, but he's in that upper echelon. Could Smith Najigma get there? We're going to find out pretty quick, like how good he is. And I'm high on him. I like the under. It's also a very tough division, very, very tough division. Like, the Niners are still the Niners. Yeah. The Rams are going to be very good, and the Cardinals are sneaky good as well. So I actually
I think they're all close. I feel like all those 4 teams are close. It
the
is
Seahawks are good,
division,
dude. And
but they're all close.
Donald was completely and utterly exposed versus the Lions and the Rams. They were exposed, and the Seahawks do not have a good enough O-line to protect his statue ass down there. No. The thing about Darnold is he goes with his first read. Like, he cannot do multiple reads. And the Lions and Rams exposed. I'm telling you, that Darnold signing for 3 years, $100 million is freaking terrible. I think they needed to get rid of Smith.
Terrible.
But when they brought in Darnold, it was very disappointing, because they could have brought in like a 1 year stopgap and just drafted a guy. The Seahawks are going nowhere quick, and it's just, they're not a good team. So I like the under.
And
I love
you know
the
what?
defense. This is a big play defense.
Almost
Witherspoon.
took the under 8.5 as one of my top 2 picks of Seattle. And again, you asked me about Cooper Kupp. His speed, he was number 34th in separation 2 years ago. He fell to number 89th last year. His career low production effects of his slow speed and injuries were visible in 2024. Yards per catch, 10.6, and yards per target,
Mike,
7.1.
is he injured this year too?
But the injuries have come
healthy,
back
Mike.
to now. You also put in that piece of shit Sam Darnold, who was so exposed versus good teams. It was a joke. They're projected to finish 4th in the division. San Francisco's has the easiest schedule. They're projected to their win total is 10.5. San Francisco, and they replaced half the team. The Rams win totals 9.5. And the Arizona win total is 8.5, but it's more juice than Seattle. So they are predicted to go last in the division. I believe that they downgraded from Geno Smith to Sam Darnold. The system, like Woodley does talk about, Minnesota's quarterback system made Sam Darnold look really good last year. I think you're going to see reality, because when they faced the good teams, you got reality last year. He held the ball too long and just kept getting sacked. The Seattle offensive line sucks. I have Seattle finishing last, and they are not winning 9 games.
Okay. I have the final word on this, Cantu. The final word is this. I'm also going to go Seattle under 8.5, and I'll tell you why. Coaching, a new head coach. So the system, it's going to be there. There could be a mess the first 4 or 5. Go ahead.
No, it's a second year. It's a second year.
Oh, second year. Okay, sorry. I still am going under. So but I think Mike made a very compelling case why. I really like that, Mike.
I think last thing on this is I think the whole division is going to be 9-8 and 10-7. I think it's the best division as far as how high the worst team is. Like, I'm talking about your worst team as far as having the worst team be good. Which division is better than that?
Okay, Cantu. Hey, listen, Danny, post those 4 picks of ours, our number 1 picks. Put them up right now on the screen for everybody. That is our number. Now, that's our number 1. Now, my number 2, here we go. I'm going to start out, guys, and I'm going to make it real easy. I'm going to start with the Eagles. We already discussed the Eagles. We don't have to waste much time here. As it turns out, I already know. I'm going Eagles over 11 wins minus $1.35. Cantu's with me, Woodley's with me, and Mike is against me. We've already discussed all the reasons why. Now I'm going to be coming to Mr. David Woodley for his second pick. What's your second NFC NFL total pick, Woodley?
I'm going to go with the Carolina Panthers over 6.5. You're paying a little bit of juice at minus 120. A couple things. That division's terrible. It is a bad division. Like the Saints. I mean, the Saints are just I don't know who's going to play quarterback for the Saints. The Saints. Like on second thought, I should take. I should take the Saints, whatever the Saints under is, because it's not low enough. But anyways, the Saints are terrible. Tampa's like, whatever. I mean, I think Tampa's been overachieving recently. And then I think the Falcons are. I mean, the Falcons feel like a 9-win team or 8-win team. They just seem kind of like a mess. The Panthers showed a lot. I mean, listen, like Bryce Young, who was just like dogged by everybody, right? Like worst pick ever. How on earth could he pick Bryce Young over Stroud? Stroud is the next MVP. Stroud is going to the Hall of Fame. Young is going the way of Jamarcus Russell and David Carr, Derek Carr, whatever the crappy one is. Keely Smith, all that. The Panthers were dead in the water last year. They started out 1-7, but they were playing tough. They ended up winning. I think they go 4-5 their last 9. So they finished the season relatively strong. And Bryce Young looked like, dare I say it, like capable. So 6.5 isn't a big number. I'm not saying they're going to go to the playoffs. I'm not saying they're going to win that division, but they. If they finish third in that division, they should hit this over pretty easily, 7-10. I think they have a really good chance of even going a little bit above that. So, I just, there's not a ton of reasoning behind it, but you only need 6.5 wins. It's not that hard. You need 7 wins and you can lose 10 games, and they play some really easy games. I mean, if they can sweep New Orleans, they're halfway there.
Woodley, I'm going to throw this over to Mike. I'm going to throw this over to Mike for his comment. Mike, 1 second though. I know nothing about the Panthers, so I hate to remove myself from this conversation, but I do like the fact their quarterback did look good the last few games, and we all thought he was dead in the water. We all thought he was over. We all thought he was done. And I think Mike is going to go with you because Mike likes teams that finish strong at the end of the last season to go over the next season. What say you, Madison?
Yes, Madison.
Madison.
This was almost my second pick. I weaver between this being my second and my third best pick. So I really like this. They have the 5th easiest schedule in the NFL.
5th easiest?
5th easiest. San Francisco easiest, Saints 2nd easiest, New England 3rd easiest, Tennessee 4th, and Carolina. Okay? The division is pretty weak, not including Tampa Bay. I think they're a juggernaut, and I'll tell you why after. But the fact that they came on strong, Bryce Young against good teams, not against just dog shit teams, put up some big numbers. He figured it out. They added some 3 or 4 defensive pieces in the free agency. I heard they drafted very well, and I think that this team is a cinch to go over 6.5. I really, really like it. Just like I said, this was almost my second best pick. I think everything about what Woodley said, I love it. I love this going over 6.5.
I like it when somebody sees something on the board and they're like, not everybody sees this, and so I like that thought process. Having listened to the two of you guys, I'm going to vote over, just because I do believe in Mike's philosophy of a team ending big. Cantu, what say you? The Panthers over 6.5 wins, minus $1.30.
Yeah, I've got to kind of remove myself as an expert on the Panthers as of right now. I've had to listen to Jason White, one of our friends on our sports stream. He's like, Panthers are amazing. This is their year. Talking about all these rookie weapons. I already forgot their names. I'll need a refresher after I watch the first game. I'm just not, dude, I'm just not buying it. I don't have a lot of reasoning. I don't have a lot of reasoning. I'm going to take myself as an expert. I'm going under. I know this is just a feel play that they're terrible.
Okay,
every
stop
year.
talking, Cantu. We don't need somebody to tell us under and say I know nothing. So
here's
we're
the
gonna move on.
thing. Here's the thing.
gonna
Here's
move
the thing about. Here's the thing. He really.
That's true.
I know nothing.
He
I know
finished-
nothing. But I'm going to go under.
But I know that they're always under, so I'm sticking with under.
They
my
finished.
Okay,
I think
Cantu,
they finished
stop talking.
over.
Accept this,
I think
Cantu.
they finished over last year.
I believe we need.
Second
I want to
pick?
say one
haven't
thing on
given
Bryce Young.
a
Though
second
those
pick
last
yet.
3 games of the year, like he really showed up.
Cantu, you're up next after Woodley stopped talking about Bryce
but
Young.
here's the thing about Bryce Young. Okay,
Oh, he's right. Listen,
those last 3 games of the year, like he had a 111 QB rating, which is insane. I mean, that's like
He was
insane.
good, man.
And he was running the ball and everything. Like Cantu, you need to like listen to Jay White for once in your life, or twice in your life, and
Maybe I do.
and
Maybe I do.
and get on this because they're going to be pretty solid.
I like it. I like it a lot. Matter of fact, I might even make that. I mean, I am making 2 bets, but I might make 3.
Yeah, that's a good bet. All right, Cantu, we're coming to you now for your second NFL NFC over/under. Who do you like?
I love the Cowboys over 7.5, and I know there's going to be a lot of Cowboy haters. We got to talk a little Cowboys. I think they're back. I love this.
Stop
George
talking,
Pickens.
Cantu. 1 second. All right, we're going on a break, folks. Cantu just gave us his pick. When we come back, we're going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys and Cantu's pick. See you on the other side of the commercial break, folks. The Fade Us Sports Podcast is brought to you by our sponsor, Splash Sports, where you can join all of us in the Big Splash 2.5 million guaranteed NFL Survivor Contest, $150 center. Of course, you can enter 150 times. Download their app, currently sitting at number 7 in the sports I just saw today. Sports App Store and climbing. You'll find all sorts of contests starting at $5. I'm hosting a contest with Nick Wright. $5,000 entry, $1 million guarantee. We're calling it the World Championship of Survivor Contest. There's also a $1,000 entry contest with a $1 million guarantee. Thanks again to Splash for sponsoring the Fade Us Sports Podcast. Welcome back to the Fade Us Sports Podcast, where Brandon Cantu, who knows nothing about the Panthers, is telling us a team he does know about, the Dallas Cowboys. And Cantu, you said you like over 7.5. What's the juice on that?
Mike, give us the juice. I think it's minus 130, minus 140.
I have it right in front of
Okay,
me.
we'll go with minus 130, minus 140. We're going to double check the juice. But meanwhile, Cantu, give us the reasons why, because the
Mainly-
Cowboys are so unpredictable.
Mainly, I think this offense is back. I'm an offense guy. I'm not much on the defensive side of the ball. This offense is back. Dak Prescott is healthy. We got George Pickens, who he looked terrible at the end of the year. He looked like he had given up. All of a sudden,
Over
he couldn't
7.5,
catch.
minus 130, everybody.
Thank you, Mike. He looked like he had given up. He had checked out. He was dropping all these balls. That has never been a problem for George Pickens. It looked like everybody was ganging up on him. You could tell he was unhappy. I think he's going to be happy. Pairing him with CeeDee Lamb on the other side, this is going to be must-see TV. You are not going to see much running the ball. This isn't a Jerry Jones run-the-ball team. This is a throw. I think Dak Prescott's going to have a big year. I love him for any fantasy reasons as well. I love both these guys. I think they are back. I know when I say back, I'm talking. I like them over 7.5. I think they fall at 8 or 9.
Woodley,
wins.
you
I
look
don't
like
think
you're
it's gonna
about.
be
You
back.
look as incredulous as I've seen you. What do you got?
That team sucks. They're going to finish under. I mean, that team is like imploding as we speak.
Oh,
I mean,
come on.
they're not going to do anything until Jerry dies or sells the team. I mean, it's just a mess. I mean, what they've done with Micah Parsons is like a crime.
He'll be
No,
back.
it's a crime.
I
Well, he
promise.
kind of
He'll be
has
in
to be
there.
back, but I mean, what they've done there, like why on earth would you ever go and play for that man again? Like, they were like, again, Micah Parsons, who's, I don't know, top 5 player in the NFL. They're saying,
Well, he's broke every record for his
they're
first
saying
3
like
years.
there's no
as a
room for his
defensive
agent
player.
in the negotiations. I mean, it's just like the most bizarre.
Well, I mean,
I promise you.
In all fairness, Jerry Jones said, I came to an agreement with Micah Parsons. We went to sign with the agreement we agreed on, and the agent came in and told me to go fuck myself. So, like, he said this on the podcast. He's not going to go public and make that up. So that's very interesting.
Listen, Jerry maybe having early dementia, thinks it's like back like 50 years ago where you didn't have to go through an agent for these deals. But, they've screwed that up. I mean, Micah is like the one great player on that team, and they have a bunch of like pretty good to very good players. Like CeeDee Lamb's a very good player. Like Dak is like, it's easy to beat up on Dak, but I mean, he's just a middle of the road quarterback that's overpaid. Sure, Pickens is a freaking nutcase. I mean, like, it's funny, like Cantu's talking about like, oh, it's good that Seattle got rid of DK Metcalf, yet he's like over here about the minute like Pickens doesn't get like 6 targets in one half, he's gonna like punch a guy in the face. I mean, it's just most dysfunctional. It's it looks dysfunctional. It is dysfunctional, and like it's just gonna completely implode.
Woodley, I love your wording there, dysfunctional. And it does seem like Dallas has had salary cap problems every single year. It doesn't seem like they spend enough money on the line. Okay, we got Dak Prescott, who has been kind of an average quarterback. What about their defense and offensive line?
Sucks.
Now they have an all-pro defender, and they're not like they're hesitating to spend. So it does seem I'm Dallas Cowboys were my second favorite team as I grew up. And I've been very disappointed. This seems like a lot of dysfunction, and I'm not really a big believer. I don't know. They might do it, but I'm going on the under for sure, plus laying $1.30 on that. So I'm also against them. Mikey, thoughts?
I love Cantu's pick here, and I'm going to tell you why. Okay? And I am not a Dallas Cowboy fan. Okay?
You liking his pick adds a little weight.
You got to understand something. They lost their all-world defensive coordinator to the Washington Commanders last year. So their defense was a sieve the first 6 weeks of the year. At one point, then they lost Dak Prescott. So now they lost another 2. They were 4-8. And then their defense became unbelievable. They won the next 2 against very good teams. They got to 6-8, and then came the catastrophe. The guy touched the block punt against Cincinnati, which would have gotten them to 7-8, and then they could have won the last 2 and made the playoffs. But after they lost that block punt, then the next week they laid an egg and it was over. But they came on strong at the end of the year. They literally actually won 3 of the last 4, if I'm not mistaken, and the defense really started to shine. And if you add a second year with the new defensive coordinator, you add a second year with a first year coach, because McCarthy had obviously needed to go, lost the team. I think that the offense is going to put up a lot of points, but it's the defense, how much improved it was once they started to learn the new coach's system, which they lost with the guy that went to Washington. So I think Dallas is going to win. I think they're going to win 9 games. I think they're going to go 9.
Woodley, listening, I wish I would have heard Mike talk first. He makes so many good points. I'm almost convinced to go the other direction, but I'm still have one word in my mind that's ringing: dysfunction. In other words, salary cap. I guess that's 2 words. So
this is one thing that I don't like about it is they do have the 5th toughest.
Everyone hates that hire though. Sean Hammer is the most boring. Dude, he just they were panned for that hire.
But they got weapons, They got weapons.
Jerry Jones has completely lost his mind. I mean, it's been going for a while, and at some point you actually have to.
I agree with you.
The one thing I hate about the Cowboys is overpaying Dak. Dak is the most overpaid quarterback in the NFL. When you're making
Dak's fine, he plays fine. That's not
Dak's a good
problem.
Quarterback. He's making over 60 a year. That leaves too little for
he's
the
a
other
top
guys.
10 quarterback.
That's a lot of money, though.
Yeah, well, we can all agree. Maybe he's number 8, 9, or 10, but maybe he's getting paid like
$60 million is a lot of. I mean, that's 2 Sam Darnolds. I'm down on Darnold. I'd rather have Darnold at $33 million than Dak at 60. That's saying a lot.
Not me. I think Darnold sucks.
Okay, guys, we're coming to our last pick. Mike Matisow's number 2 pick on the NFC NFL totals. I think he's going to say a team that's I don't know,
I'm going to take
a mile from my house.
No. But I almost went there. I almost went there, but the line moved from 9.5 to 10.5, and I can't go. I can't take the worst of the number.
So
But
you were
I'm
going to take the Niners, but you switched directions. What do you got?
Well, I'm going to go with a team that's playing in the softest division, a team that's won their division 4 years in a row, a team that finished so strong last year where they ran the table to win the division. And if it wasn't for a Baker Mayfield fucking fumble, they would have beat Washington, and I think they would have been in the NFC Championship game. I'm going to Tampa Bay Bucks over 9.5. I think Baker Mayfield is the real deal. I think he's been great.
Mikey, give us the juice on that
really
pick,
love
Mike.
It. The juice is actually pretty small. I think it's over minus 120. I just had it in front of me.
We'll go minus 120, but you might as well check it.
Let me just get it real quick. The Bucks are right here. Here they are, Buccaneers. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's over 9.5. Lay $1.05. Minus 115 to the under. So yeah, lay $1.05 over 9.5. They won. They ran the table last year to go 9-8. They only have to win one more game, and they have the 13th easiest schedule in the NFL. The division is dog shit. I see them going 5-1 in the division, and they return everybody, and they improved the defense in free agency, and they drafted well. I think this team could legitimately win the NFC.
Cantu, thoughts on this?
I agree. I agree again, and mainly because of how bad this division is.
Mikey and Cantu agreeing on 2 in a row? Woodley, we might be wrong. Go ahead, Cantu.
If we were talking about the other 3 teams in the division, I would be going under, as I don't like any of them. But Tampa it's just such an easy schedule, such an easy division. It just feels like they win 11 or 12, not because they're an 11 or 12 win team, but just because the cards are set up right for them. For that reason, I'm going over.
Okay, Woodley.
No, I mean, they weren't good last year. I mean, I don't know.
They ran the table without Godwin, brother.
They're fucking old. They're missing their number 2 wide receiver. They're like, oh my god, Chris Godwin.
They don't play anyone.
You know what?
They don't play anyone.
Dude, missing your number 2 wide receiver, that's such a minimal thing. Like, okay, Chris Godwin could get ruled out for the season tomorrow, and that line would not move. Like, he's not worth 1 win.
Well, you're not a believer in Baker Mayfield, then. You don't think he's
I
as good
think
as
Baker's fine. I'm an Oklahoma guy. I like Baker quite a bit.
You think the Cleveland Browns would do a lot to have him back right now?
What we're talking about, Mike. Like,
Yeah,
I'm just
they
saying.
probably
of course
would.
they would.
They gave him up for nothing.
I mean, obviously, of course they would. I mean, you act like they were like some great. You act like they were some great team last year. They didn't really run the table. They played like shit. They had like one good victory, which was like over like the Eagles, like early in the season, and then the Eagles like completely turned it around.
Oh, that's right. They did lose the Tampa Bay overtime game to Kansas City, was it? Because the coach didn't go for 2. Oh yeah, I remember that. On the road against the fucking best team in the NFL, and they don't go for 2.
Like, it's funny because like.
That was their only loss. They ran the table.
Mike is like the king of this. It's like it was a 1-score game. Like 80% of the fucking games are 1-score games. Like, Mike loves nothing more than a 1-score game to make his like stupid arguments. He also likes this like strength of schedule thing, which is like a meaningless thing as we head into the new season. Like, every team.
Okay, you say it's a meaningless thing, but 6 of the 8 toughest schedule last year missed the playoffs. Okay, I just wanted you to know that. The Bengals, and that missed the playoffs, and
the Bengals had like legendary.
Woodley, that's a tough question. Woodley, continue with what you don't like them to go over 9.5.
I know. I like the under because it's a bad. Yeah, it is a bad division, but they're a bad team. They're part of the bad division, and I think all. Like, everyone's going to beat up on them. It's going to be the same crap as last year, where the team that wins it is going to win 8 or 9 games. So, like, no, they're not going to win 10 games.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't think? I mean, Tampa Bay had them beat. The ridiculous fumble. I don't even understand how.
Well, I don't think Washington's that great.
And they have Washington's great. Yeah, but they beat Philadelphia twice last year and went to the championship game, and they crushed Detroit on the road. So, okay,
Mikey, I'm gonna go with your pick. I'm gonna vote the yay for Baker Mayfield, and I don't know. I still think there's something left in the tank for that team. And so I'm going with you. I do believe in Baker Mayfield, and I think that's going to be important. I also think that they've had a really good lines, and that makes a big difference. And I think Mike's biggest point that I agree with is there's a bunch of crappy other teams in that division. Danny, post all of our number 2 picks while you're at it. Post all of our number 1 picks. There are our 8 picks, guys. Who of any of us is ready to comment on who you're going to go with the first week in your Survivor contest? Woodley, do you have someone picked out?
Yeah, we'll dive into this more, I
don't even
think,
know who's playing.
next week in studio. But I actually think I actually like going Philadelphia week 1. You burn them a bit. Again, I picked them over earlier, but I think that feels like a very safe play. I mean, listen, if you look at week 1, it is absolutely going to be a bloodbath. There's a ton. What? They play Dallas opening night, like next Thursday. In Philly, raise the banner. Like Philly's going to smoke them. Like they're not going to lose that game. Like these teams don't lose it.
I like your pick, Woodley.
I don't like it.
Cantu, thoughts?
I do not play division teams.
I'm like Mike.
Sometimes
you have to do it, but especially this early, I don't like those divisional games. I think the Cowboys do. I think they're going to win the game. No, but I do think they could do something spooky and accidentally win that game. I'm going to go more chalk week 1. I like the Broncos week 1. Titans at Broncos. The line right now is 8.5. 8.5. It just seems it is obvious. It is the most obvious play on the board. I think the Titans are going to come in. They're going to have a quarterback that's playing kind of tight,
1 and 15 rookie quarterbacks on the road. The last 16. The only one that won was Caleb last year, where the team won 7-6. It wasn't because Caleb was any good.
Yeah. So Mike likes your pick.
What these guys, let me tell you why though, is because the coaches, they come in and they try to baby these quarterbacks. You just got to let them play the game. They'll come in and do these dink and dunk passes. They're not going to throw anywhere down the field.
It's
going to be such a conservative game plan. I want to just win.
They're probably going to be 9.5. What are they, 9.5?
It's 8.5 right now. Yeah. I think it's going to go above 10. I really think this line's going to jump. It's a very obvious pick. I just think that.
Well, I just want to point out one thing. There's 4 of us on this podcast. There's one of us that actually won a Survivor pool last year in the Gregorich pool. And there's one of us that burned through 150 entries in by the end of week 2. And that's Cantu.
You won. You split it after week 4. Everybody was out.
It was 100.
Okay, sorry.
He split it, Mike. At least he split it. And by the way, 2 years ago, Mike made a deep run. I think he made a 4-way split or something, Mike. The nice thing about being deep in a Survivor pool is you can get insurance. So I was deep 2 years ago and last year, and I'd see these outrageous things where my team was up at halftime and I'd get 6-1. And then when I lost, I picked up like $18,000. So that's the nice thing. Mikey, I'm going to go with Cantu's pick. I really like that. Mike, do you have a thought? And then we're going to talk very briefly about the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I want to talk. That's a good thing. I want to talk about them too. I haven't looked at the schedule. I just know road rookie quarterbacks, 1 and 15, the last 16 on the road. Okay. Caleb Williams was the guy who won last year, and I think Denver's going to be the chalk. And if I have to take the chalk, I'm going.
You know what, guys? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to save the Steelers for our AFC show.
Yeah.
Guys, listen. This was our first Fade Us Sports podcast. I want people to know that Mike the Mouth Mattisau lost $3 or $4 or $5 or $6 million betting sports. And he's so smart, and his takes are so good. But just because he's so unlucky, you might want to bet against all of his picks. We do love our Mike the Mouth Mattisau. He attacked me in the opening. I attacked him in the opening. That's what happens when you're friends for 25 years. Guys, goodbye from the Fade Us Sports podcast.